150 million. That's how many copies Demon Slayer sold in 5 years only, up to 2021. This makes it the 9th most sold manga of all time. Not only that, but since it has the least amount of volumes among every other manga in the top 10, it means that more people bought the same volumes rather than the same people buying more volumes. And considering that it's also the youngest of all the mangas in the list, it's even more impressive. But despite its fast rise to fame, Demon Slayer is also one of the most hated mangas online. People complaining about, oh, it's too generic, oh, the villain is boring, oh, the writing is lame. Well, you're all wrong! Now, I'm not saying that you have to enjoy it or that Demon Slayer is the pinnacle of literacy, but a lot of hate that it's receiving is definitely unwarranted. To start off, a common complaint about the series is how generic or boring it comes across. While I acknowledge that the writing doesn't have too much depth in regards to the storyline or the plot, that doesn't mean that it's bad. Simple writing does not equal bad writing. In my opinion, the pacing and the writing of the show was good enough to make you attached to some of the characters at least, for example, some Hashiras. And yes, I didn't mention the main cast because I know a lot of people hate on them. Most of the time, the hate is targeted towards Zenitsu and sometimes Inosuke. Tanjiro and Nezuko are pretty clear, I'd say, apart from some weird people who dislike Tanjiro for being so good and righteous, which I kinda disagree with. He's a nice person by nature, we know that, and he holds a grudge against Muzan, rightfully so, and his grudge was so powerful that he was ready to attack Gyu, the water Hashira, without hesitation. So he's not a complete goody two-shoes or like super good righteous. I don't know why people would even dislike him for that, that's just his nature. But back to Zenitsu, the most obvious thing to say about him is he's such a crybaby and whatnot, but first of all, he's a regular human. He doesn't have some crazy tragic backstory like the others, and he doesn't hold a grudge to Muzan like Tanjiro. So he has no reason to like have so much willpower to kill all these demons. He's also not raised in the wild like Inosuke. So it's a normal reaction for him to be crying or to be scared when facing these demons. I guarantee that 99.99% of you guys would behave the same way in a world with no technology and Wi-Fi, let alone getting chased by literal demons. On the contrary, I think that it's a good thing that we have a character who is more realistic as opposed to the crazy people we see most of the time, like the Hashiras. Furthermore, I think that the author did a great job adding a side to Zenitsu where he would become a total badass too, aka when he sleeps. That way he's not always a crybaby, because even I agree that it gets annoying. That's why sleeping Zenitsu is a go. Like, look at him, you can't tell me this wasn't cold, bruh.
Nanda? 空気が揺れる。いつのこと？霹靂一閃。6連。消えた。
For Inosuke, there isn't much to say. It's just either you like him or you don't. He's kind of a wild card, so I can understand why some people like him and some don't. It's not the same for Muzan though. Contrary to popular belief, Muzan is, I think, an elite villain. He inspires fear in every character and is truly evil. It's actually rare to get a pure evil villain nowadays in shonen. Most of them have a sad backstory that turned them evil, so people say they have good writing and the morality is somewhat in a gray area when we talk about their motives. But true evil villains like Muzan is also a trope that's completely valid. Another example is Majin Buu, like he was pure evil and cool. I think that's what Muzan is like, albeit slightly less cool and more serious. But again, it's refreshing for a villain to not have a tragic backstory, which creates conflicting emotions in the viewers. Demon Slayer establishes a clear and straightforward storyline and goal. The evil wants to kill my family and turn my sister into a demon. I will overcome the obstacles and save my sister by killing the evil monster and also avenging my family. Simple, right? And I'll do it in a flashy way too, thanks to the insane animation by Ufotable. Which brings me to my next point. The series is carried by its animation. Now this is just a stupid statement. What exactly is meant by this? That the show wouldn't have success without the animation? Even though it's the fastest selling manga? So that can be right. The show having good animation means that the storyline is bad? That doesn't even make sense. The animation is fantastic, and I think everyone can agree on that. But that's literally just the bonus point. Like, is it supposed to be bad to not carry the show? If the show is solid and the animation is great, I see no problem. The only problem is that you're not subscribed yet, so run it up please. I'm trying to hit 1k subs soon. Apart from that, Demon Slayer has really good animation, a solid and simple storyline with refreshing villains and good characters, and it's actually one of the best starter animes out there. The reason for this is it's so easy to get into and so easy to understand the concept behind the series that no one is gonna get scared away by the complexity of the plot, you know? And like I mentioned earlier, the pacing is just really solid, so nobody's gonna get too bored or too overwhelmed by the pacing of the series and how fast things are moving. In fact, I think it does a great job at ending the series where it needs to be ended because the main character achieved his goal and there's no more reason to keep dragging on the series. Everybody gets their conclusion to their personal story and boom, we're done. Just like this video.